Skyrim Anniversary Edition Stealth launched 3 years ago today on Nintendo Switch, sparking pricing controversy and some crazy performance issues that hindered the game's previously stable 30 frames per second. Bethesda did patch these issues less than a month later, but I never went back to revisit it after that happened. We will set that record straight today. Here is my 2025 re-review of Skyrim Anniversary Edition for Nintendo Switch and backwards compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. This is not going to be a full review. This is the third time I've covered Skyrim on Switch here on the channel, so we'll focus on the anniversary content, the performance of then versus now, and do a little Switch versus Switch 2 comparison towards the end. Let's start with the basics of Anniversary Edition, as there was a lot of confusion about it when it stealth launched on the eShop. First, this is a bundle of the base game and Anniversary Edition DLC. Many people spread misinformation at the time that $70 would be the new standard for Switch 1 games going forward. And while it is true that it seems to be the norm now for Switch 2 games 3 years later, but Skyrim Anniversary launching didn't magically turn every Switch 1 game into a $70 premium. For more details, Skyrim Anniversary Edition installed 70 mods into the game referred to as installed content. Now, this is not the mod catalog that the PS4 got on the title screen for this game in Fallout 4. It is 70 Creation Club mods that are built into the game itself now. Things like survival mode to make you worry about temperature, backpacks to increase weight capacity, tons of weapons, armor, and accessories like the stealth-heavy Bow of Shadows, fishing, more horses, and of course, you have to do new quests and go through dungeons to be able to get all of this, making the already huge playtime of Skyrim even longer. We're also going to make a point of a couple things that I've been asked in the past on my initial review, since this does mod the game and people worry about it messing things up. First, there's no real way to turn these mods off outside of possibly separating the base game and not installing the Anniversary Edition DLC at all. You also don't need to worry about it messing up the game's exploits. I was able to still use the Riften jail glitch to max out pickpocketing, as well as the infinite arrows exploit in Solitude with the Anniversary mods installed. Getting back to the mods, I found these to be great additions, especially the Pets of Skyrim side quest, letting you recruit many animals from a fox to a young frostbite spider to your party that do not count as followers. I did this tied with doing mini quests halfway, keeping temporary party members in my party, allowing me to roam around Skyrim with Serana, Katria, Ilya, a frostbite spider, and a fox all at the same time that rush into anything that is remotely threatening. But this DLC also brought in bugs and problems. It made the software freeze and crash when you froze to death in survival mode, something that I found rather hilarious at the time. But it messed up the game's frame rate. What you're seeing right here is Switch 1 at the time of Anniversary's launch, where Riften turned into a choppy mess. Basically, the whole game was like that if you were in an outdoor open world location. Enclosed spaces like homes and dungeons were still 30 FPS, but anything outdoors was way less. Thankfully, Bethesda pushed a patch out not even a month later that fixed these problems, as I noted in my initial review via a pinned comment. Here is Nintendo Switch 1 playing through Riften after the patch went live and how it still is today in 2025. Not a single frame drop to be found, with the game returning to form with its stable 30 FPS. The survival mode freezing was also fixed with this patch, though there are reports as recent as this year that there are still audio bugs in the game with sound effects being on repeat, though I have not personally been able to reproduce those glitches. But now that we're in 2025, we also have the Nintendo Switch 2 available that can enhance the game further. While there is a 30 FPS cap on the game, Skyrim is known for long load times, so let's take a moment to do a little comparison, as there is a lot of difference. When first booting up the game, the Switch 1 takes even longer to load Anniversary than vanilla Skyrim. To be precise, it will take you around 48 seconds to go from the Switch's operating system to the title menu, and a grand total of 1 minute and 40 seconds to go from the OS and get into a saved game, even when you're loading an internal area like the Riften jail. When you do the same thing on Switch 2, it is much shorter, only taking 17 seconds to get to the title menu and 45 seconds to get into the Riften jail save file. That is an astronomical improvement. Next are in-game load times. Loading Riften from the jail for the first time on a save file takes around 36 seconds on Switch 1, while the same transition on a freshly loaded save file on Switch 2 will only take 18 seconds. Basically, the load times are halved on Switch 2. Fairly typical, but worth noting for a game that's notorious for making you wait to go places. That's all I have, so in conclusion, Skyrim Anniversary on Switch is a great addition to the content of the already huge original game, offering backpacks, tons of new missions, and a way to give yourself a literal army of furry friends to follow you and help you fight off dragons. While there may still be audio glitches here and there for some people, its performance has been completely fixed and had its load time sliced in half thanks to the Switch 2. Reviews to Go rates Skyrim Anniversary Edition for the Nintendo Switch a 9.5 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.